Hello and welcome to the SoundLab podcast, interviews unedited. On today's show, interviews from South Arcade, Skinny Lister, Mike, McKenzie and Shay O'Dowd. Plus we throw back to 2000 Trees Festival 2018 to chat to Enter Shikari. So let's crack on, shall we, and play you our first interview from South Arcade. How are you?
Well, thank you. How are you, Jim?
Not too bad, not too bad. Going strong, which is good. Now, we've just been sent a new track of yours called Supermodels, which I'm sure we'll play after this interview. Tell us a bit about the single.
Well, I think like how I've sort of described it when trying to explain it to anyone was we wanted to, well, everyone sort of associates us with this sort of 2000 sound or whatever. And we were like, right, what's the next like most obnoxious thing we could sort of do and catch people off guard with, if that makes sense. So it kind of starts out sounding like a bit like a pop punky like 2000s track, and then well, I guess people have to wait till about 2 minutes in or whatever it is for.
It's drawing from like all the different 2000 stuff. Like we've drawn from the new metal thing, we've drawn from the pop punk thing, and we wanted to, I guess, like a bit more of the like dancey.
It's a bit more dancey, yeah. It's like pop rap dancey but heavy, isn't it? And maybe
I feel like the 2000s was just one big melting pot of loads of stuff that was just cool. That's what we're trying.
So that's why we just take something out of the hat. Like, what reference should we do?
Yeah, I can well imagine. And you released an EP at the end of last year, 2005. How did that go down with the fans?
Yeah, it was great. It was really good. It was I don't know. I don't think we realised it would go down that well. I guess
especially when it's like first EP kind of standard, you know.
First EP,
you don't really know what to expect.
You sort of don't know what you're doing, really.
Yeah. Especially when you're still like honing your sound, like, do you know what I mean? If it's like your first body of work, we were like, okay. To be honest, when the first track on that EP, I think that came out was Nepo Baby, and that I think was the turning point. We were like, okay, we know what we're going for now. So it was just fun to see that progress throughout the EP.
We started sort of just trying to write what we really liked. That was sort of the only checkpoint that we wanted to hit, was like we had to really like it, and I think
exactly
it was
as long as that worked, we were like, we'll do it.
And it was very nice that it paid off almost.
Yeah, absolutely. It's like so reassuring that people I mean, like, kind of, I think we're kind of astonished by how many sort of listens.
And you get a bit nervous when you're going, oh well, I'll just write what I like, but maybe I'll just be the only one who likes it. But it was very nice to find out that it wasn't just us four that liked it. Thank God.
Yeah, absolutely. And with Supermodels now out, is this the start now of the next release and the next EP?
Well, that would be telling, Jeff, wouldn't it? But I will say yes. I'm sorry, I was a lot more definite than you. Sorry.
Yes, why not? Absolutely.
It will be, yeah.
We sound so unsure.
Do you know how it's going to sound and how it's going to compare to your first EP?
I think it will be like a similar sort of like journey with it. I think it will just be us like more really like nailing what we're doing, like exploring these different kind of avenues of like scene. I don't know. There's so many things I want to like try that we haven't even like tapped into yet, which I'm really excited to like.
I think when we've got so many influences, it's like the like well that you can draw from, like so it's just many. Like,
and the amount of crossovers you can then do with that, it's like infinite kind of like combinations in like a nerdy way.
And I feel like 2005 EP is like the foundation. Just building on that.
Exactly,
yeah, nice. And you get the chance to play this track and some of your others tonight because you're at Coco. How geared up are you for tonight?
We're pretty terrified, if I'm honest.
Yeah. But it's going to be good. We're very excited.
I've never been in the venue before until like today. I'd seen pictures.
Yeah.
And then I think when you walk in like, onto the stage, when you're loading in, then your neck has to go like up to see the top. I'm like, it's an unnecessary amount of floors, but it's the biggest
headline we've ever done. So it's no pressure. But it was going to be good. We're very excited. And we've got some stuff planned, and we're very, very looking forward to it.
Yeah, we can't wait for it.
Yeah, good. And you're quite near the start now of an extensive run of touring, because you're touring till the end of the month, pretty much.
Yeah, and more.
Yeah,
yeah. We're really excited. 'Cause that's out with we're with Bill Murray in Europe and UK.
First Europe, and then I'll have the UK, and then first America tour with Magnolia Park in April.
May, so
it's all
boy are we tired,
but
I am so excited for it. It's going to be like an insane experience.
Yeah, you ready?
I think so. We'll find out.
We'll find out.
I feel like it's going to be like a.
I think we'll be ready by the end of all the shows for like next time. Do you know what I mean? Like, it'll be a great learning experience.
Yeah.
It'll be great. I feel like
it's more, each night.
It's more just experiencing like I don't know how it's like. I don't know. Like it's almost like when you've been to so many gigs in the UK, you sort of know what to expect at a UK gig. But I almost don't know. I've never been to a gig anywhere else.
Yeah, exactly.
So I almost don't because
the gig etiquette might be different.
But even in the UK, you get sort of different like people approach different gigs, even just from different parts of the UK.
Yeah.
Like
But imagine what that's going to be
and
like.
so I can only imagine it's going to be like more of a bigger scale. But I'm looking forward to just seeing how different like all the places are and how
it's going to be wicked.
Yeah, I'm sure. And then we're obviously into festival season as well. You've got a fair few biggies booked in as well. I bet you can't wait for a busy summer.
Yes, we got Radio 1 big weekend on the same day as Slam Dunk.
That weekend,
that's going to be a bit of a Mission Impossible moment, I think. We're on a run off stage at Radio 1.
How we like to keep it, isn't it?
That's so us.
It's so us, bro.
Yeah. And then we got Reading main stage.
Yeah.
And it's going to be
wild.
Yes, because we did the introducer stage.
Yeah, last year, which was like the most insane experience ever.
Yes.
Like, especially when you've been going to Reading since you're like younger, and then to be on the other side of that barrier, it's like what? But
Very
like so,
surreal.
This summer's going to be very really stoked for it.
Yeah, and then we're obviously towards the end of the year. What have you got planned? Are you hoping to be back recording music? Do you think you'd be out on tour again? What's the kind of idea at the moment?
We're planning. We'll be doing some runs of shows.
I think we'll be doing some more of our own.
We'll be doing some more of our own, and we'll be hopefully. I reckon what I reckon we'll have been writing
on the road. God.
And then we'll end up probably like maybe wrapping up the next EP.
Yeah,
that sort of thing.
Oh yeah, to go with those run of shows. I think that'll be the idea.
That's the plan.
Nice. I'd like to talk about the writing side of things as well. So for you guys, how do tracks normally start off?
God, okay, don't worry, we've got this.
So guitarist Harry will write like 20 little ideas, and harmony is almost the chord that will go, no.
Got to make it through the filter of me.
Or harmony will go, I love that.
Yeah.
You like to have an idea, like a concept.
Yeah, so it's sort of like, Harry will make all those ideas, and then I feel bad, but Harry's great, so he's our guitarist and our producer, and he'll work away on his laptop. We literally can't take his laptop away from him, and he'll present me these ideas, and then I'll like maybe one or two of them, right? And then we'll sit with both of those, and then I'm massive into like concepts for songs. Like I feel like when you really just connect with like just the instrumental or just an idea of a song, it makes it so much like stronger. So then I'll sit and look like a lunatic for a few hours, like literally like yapping a made up language like over these tracks.
Yeah, we get a lot of like demos that sound like Simlish.
They do sound like Simlish.
Like random syllables, but it really helps with like. I find it helps with because we make the artwork and we make the we come up with the ideas for the videos. So it really helps it all like tie into like a bigger picture thing.
Yeah, I always say like if you can picture the music video when you're literally starting writing the song, then it'll never like lose its like cohesiveness, you know.
Yeah, and then we end up hashing it through in Harry's bedroom because we just write.
Yeah, everything's all done in Harry's bedroom apart from the drums who we recorded at our friend's house.
Yeah, and we just hash it out, don't we? We sometimes.
It's not very glamorous.
No, it's pretty. I don't know what other people do, but we're just
sort of our. And
we're just messing about. I don't know how we got that. It's happened.
But it's working so far.
Yeah.
If it ain't broken, don't fix it.
Absolutely.
Yeah, no, most definitely. Do you think you'll continue it the same way that you have been, or do you think you might try new things to see what works for you in the future?
I think we're down to try new things, but I'm a massive thing of if we have captured something that like works here now, like there's no reason where to change. I mean, if it improves it, it's
finding like the bits that are the magic, and if you can take that somewhere else and to try something else, then definitely. I feel like, if I'm honest, I feel like at the moment we're like the creative well hasn't like run that dry yet. But I reckon absolutely when you start going, when you get a bit of writer's block, like switching it up is definitely the way to go, isn't it?
Yeah, just to, like literally even just to like try different, I don't know, ways of writing just to make stuff.
Yeah.
But I guess we'll try that when that moment happens.
Yeah.
So It does in a way. Yeah.
And I hope you enjoyed the interview there with South Arcade. Now, we are all over social media, so come and find us at The Sounder Lab, yes, on all the socials. And you can also check out the website at thesounderlabuk.co.uk. Now, while you go and follow us on all of those socials, you can now listen to our new interview from Skinny Lister, who have a brand new record out this week. Skinny Lister, how are you?
Hello, we're really well, thank you.
Thanks for having us.
Yeah, pleasure is all mine. And we've just been playing a new single of yours called Song from the Yonder. Tell us a bit about the single, first of all.
Well, it's quite an exciting one for us. It's like it's a conversational one between me and Lorna, which we've not really done much of over the years. Even though we put this out, and some people are suggesting that we should do more of it, or we should have done more of it. But I think there's one track on Down on Deptford Broadway where we did a similar thing. But it's quite nice to explore that dynamic where we're basically having a conversation in a song. So it was nice to put that out. Yeah.
I sing it in honour of all the girlfriends of band members who miss their fellas when we go touring as well.
Yeah, absolutely. And that's coming off your new record, which is out May 9th. What can we expect to hear on the record?
It's quite varied, isn't it?
It is quite varied. I mean, it's got that at the core of it. It's the usual, almost what you would expect from Skinny Lister in a way. It's got, it's got the big themes of travel, sea, drinking, all that stuff is in there. There's a couple of more tender moments on this. We've always had tender moments. Maybe on the last album, Shanty Punk, we didn't really explore that side. But on this one, we've just allowed ourselves to explore that side of things a little bit as well. But as I say, the main sort of headline tracks are those sing along drinking songs that'll be good fun to play live, hopefully.
We've already played a few because we were in America was it a couple of months ago now?
I can't remember.
So time flies. But on our recent American tour, we were playing some of them and they just go down really well, sit nicely in with the old classics.
Yeah, we did have the opportunity to road test a few of them before we recorded the album, and so they work well live. So yeah, all good. Yeah.
Nice. Yeah, good. And I think you're about 7 records in now. How have you guys evolved through the years from record 1 till now?
In some ways we've evolved quite a lot, and in some ways we're still we're quite true to that ethos of the sound from when we first started. I mean, the first album we didn't have a drummer. It was quite we always call it our sort of rural album. Then I think we got a bit more urban by the time we got to the second album. We got a drummer. Things got a little bit toughened up, I think. I don't know where we are now. We're somewhere in between that. I mean, we have explored various things along the way. I mean, the core of what we do is sort of a folky sound, and we always like to try and throw in traditional elements of things. But we've explored kind of 80s influences, Adam and the Ants, or Dexys Midnight Runners, or that sort of thing. So we still sort of incorporate things that are of interest to us. But I think I
feel like we found our groove now. And we write the stuff.
Yeah,
I don't know. Just feel really happy and comfortable with where we are, and enjoying playing live still. So yeah, just cracking on with it, really.
Yeah, I mean, it's shanty punk. Is still the I'd say that was our genre. Yeah, and this album is no different from that.
Yeah.
Good. And even though there is those 7 records and a bunch of EPs as well, is there anything you've not tried yet that you want to see if works for you guys?
Well, you've always wanted to do some sort of electro outfit, and just her and a keyboard and
synthesizer.
You and a synth.
Yeah, that's my solo project.
There's nothing really. I mean, we kind of see what because we like to keep things interesting for ourselves in terms of what we do with Skinny Lister, and in turn that keeps things interesting for people who follow the band, I think. But like Lorna says, we're kind of back into a sort of quite a folky groove that we're being true to what Skinny Lister is, I think, at the minute with this, and certainly this and the last record, I think. So we're just for the time being happy doing what we're doing, and I think what we do kind of resonates with our fan base, what we're doing at the minute. So yeah, we'll see. Maybe next album we will go synth. We'll see.
We did synth on Matter of Life and Love because Max got a synth for Christmas.
He did,
yeah.
Yeah, nice. And coming back to this record, is there any tracks that kind of didn't make the records that you kind of maybe want to use again in the future, or do you think you'll bin them off and start
Man
again?
on a Motorbike in ASDA.
Yeah,
that didn't make it, sadly.
There are always songs that don't make the grade, and that's part of being a band. You know, I'll write a song, we'll take it, you know, I'll play it to the other guys in the rehearsal room, and some of them just
Scott just went, that's just too weird.
So yeah, and if it's not really passed the test this time, I probably wouldn't attempt to get it by.
Although my favourite song on the album, you did write it last time, but it didn't make it. But it has made it this time, and it's gorgeous. I love it. I love it so much.
So
she's talking about one called out. Yeah, so that is an exception. That didn't fit in the last album for stylistic reasons, really, because shanty punk was pretty down the line.
Shanty punk.
It didn't really deviate from. It didn't go into the more tender side, which we on this one we've gone a little bit that way. But Lorna's talking about one called "Tumbling Into Something," which is probably the most delicate moment on the album, I think. But fortunately, it found a home on this album. So yeah,
nice, yeah, nice. And people get to hear you play some of these tracks live because you're starting some in-store shows in I think next week. I bet you can't wait to be doing some more shows.
Yeah, we can't wait to get back at it. We start in Bristol at Rough Trade on the 7th, and then we're playing all over the country in some towns that we've never played before.
Yeah, we've got like was it Jacaranda in Liverpool? We've got Rough Trade in Nottingham. We're doing Banquet Records in Kingston.
We've done those before, but we're playing like Homefirth.
Yeah, they're not the record store ones. So we've got some proper, not proper. We've got some sort of full blown headline shows amongst the tour as well, but it should be a good run.
And we're launching the album on a boat called the Yorkshire Belle in Bridlington, which Dan wrote a song about because he grew up on it. So we're looking forward to that.
I didn't grow up on the boat. I grew up in Bridlington. But anyway, yeah.
You went on it.
It's going to be fun actually launching the album officially on the
we're going to smack champagne on the
so yeah, it should be a good week, good fun week next week.
Yeah, absolutely. How do you cater your sets for the in-stores compared to the big main shows?
It'll just be a bit shorter. They're good fun. They're intimate. They're kind of quite a casual affair. We'll be trying to put 5 or 6 of the tracks from the new album in there, but also keep a whole bunch of the familiar classics as well.
It'll be relaxed. It's more. I'd say it's more of an intimate affair and chatting and stuff like that. So.
And signing and hanging out. It should be good fun.
Yeah, sounds good to me. And then we're obviously into festival seasons. You've got a fair few booked in. Are you hoping to add any more, or do you think that's kind of it for now?
We're always open.
It might be it, but you never know with these things. It's often that things do get added late in the day, and if we're available, we're up for it, we'll do it. So we'll see. But yeah, we're looking forward to festival season. And then beyond that, I don't know when this goes out, but there's something in the pipeline for November, December across Europe and UK.
Sounds good to me. Are you hoping to be back in the studio at some point this year as well, or do you think it's a touring year?
Whoa.
No, I mean, we're actually sat in the studio right now as it happens, but we have to let that sort of percolate a bit and see what at the minute we're truly in the throes of getting this new album out and promoting it and doing all that stuff, so it's kind of definitely on the back burner at the minute is new material.
So if you haven't picked up a copy yet, pick one up. It means everything to us.
Absolutely. And I'm not sure there's going to be much time with Lorna's synth project going on as well. So
that's going to really take off, yeah.
And I hope you enjoyed the interview there with Skinny Lister. Now, here on Spotify, we also have a brand new music playlist called Fresh, bringing you 150 brand new up-and-coming artists that we feel you might just enjoy yourselves. yourselves. If you head to our website, thesoundlabuk.co.uk, and click on our fresh playlist poster, you can go and find us on there. And while you go and find us on there and give us a little save, we're going to play you our next interview from Mike McKenzie, who we had a chat with because he's been releasing brand new music. Mike McKenzie, how are you?
I'm good. How are you?
Yeah, not too bad, not too bad. So after this interview, we'll be playing a new single of yours called Mr. Bang. Tell us a bit about the single, first of all.
Yeah, it's the latest one from my debut album. We wanted to have a song come out with the record that like feels like a festival like anthem, like ready for summer. And it's actually a track that's like one of the oldest ones, or one of the ones that was written the longest ago. So I've been writing and recording music for a long time, but it's taken me a minute to finally do a solo debut album. Yeah, this was one of the sort of the songs that's been kicking about for ages and just needed its moment, and now's its moment. So yeah, I'm buzzing for it to be out in the world and ready for people's summers. So it's a good feel good, jump about, sun is shining, good time.
Yeah, absolutely. And as mentioned, that is off your debut record, which is out now. I'd Wait Again. For those who've not had a chance to take a listen to it yet, tell us a bit about it.
Yeah, so it's called I'd Wait Again basically because I'm like 36 and I just signed my first record deal, and I'm kind of maybe like older to be new, if that kind of makes sense. I don't know. But it was after the in 2019, I'd actually won the Singer-Songwriter of the Year with Radio Scotland. And Fran Healy from Travis, just to name drop a little, Fran Healy from Travis was one of the judges. And so I was like standing in St. Luke's in Glasgow, which is this beautiful like church venue, epic space. And I just played with like a string trio, and it was all wild and it was all very exciting. And I won the award. And then he sort of leans in and he was like, you know, things might change from here on, like, but like, take your time, make sure you do it the way that you want to do it, make sure you release music the way that you want to release it, and yeah, take your time with it. And so I don't think he expected me to wait like 5 years, but I've waited and finally decided it was the right time, and it was very kismet. I then almost immediately met Marty Haley, who's produced the record and is the label as well. And we had a demo session. We knocked out a song in like a day, and he turned and was like, "We need to make a record." And so here we are, and I just love the record so much, and I feel like actually that wait was very much worth it. And so yeah, so I'd Wait Again is where the title comes from, because I just love it, because it just encompasses all of my musical influences. It's like everything from like I grew up like listening to everything from like the Beatles to like Billy Joel, like, but also like love pop music, and like from a very musical home. My mum used to like direct like musicals, and my dad used to be in the like amateur dramatic stuff, and so we were like that family in the car singing 3-part harmonies on the drive to Loch Lomond. Yeah, so I just wanted the whole album to encompass all of those influences. So there's like folky tracks on there, there's like a little country track on there, there's like pop tracks, and then there's like this like Mr. Bang, which is more of a like band kind of big festival track. Yeah, so it's a bit of everything on the album. Nice.
And I'd like to talk a bit about the writing side of things as well. So for you, how do the tracks normally start off?
It really depends. Like I think like I was saying, like I kind of come from like a melody harmony kind of place. So I'll just sort of be mucking about, and something might stick sonically. So it might just be even gibberish like lyrics, but the sound and the melody and the sort of vowel sounds and things might come, and then it'll piece together that way. Other times I'll have like a theme or something I want to talk about. I love to collaborate, so I've worked with like a bunch of different songwriters and artists and bands and stuff over the years, and so I also love to just like learn from them and kind of take from their experiences too. It's like so there's like loads of different routes. I think like Homesick, which is one of the other singles in the album, that was like a rehearsal I was doing. We'd already, I think, started recording, and I was in a rehearsal for a show and found a couple of chords and was like, oh, and then it just kind of spilled out. And so like sometimes I feel like I can't even take credit for like the writing. It just sort of, I don't know, it sort of, yeah, does itself. So yeah, again with the album, so there's songs that are like 8-9 plus years old, and then songs that are like written during the recording process. So, but yeah, sorry, to go back, different ways, might be jamming it out, might be a theme, might be a line. I have like, be out with my friends and someone will say something and I'm like, oh, stealing that right in my notes. You know, there might be a little like tagline or something to jump off from. But yeah, a little bit of everything, really.
Yeah, and I find that many artists struggle most with the lyrics. What are the lyrics like for you? Are they pretty straightforward, or can they be a challenge at times?
They can definitely be a challenge. I think it's one of those things where perception is kind of so unique, and people take songs and they mean. I think it's the biggest part of releasing music is that it's no longer yours. It's whoever is listening to it. Like the whole wedding song thing. Somebody will have a wedding song playing, and you're like, you've read the lyrics of, you know, the second verse, right? But it might not make sense to you that it may, you know, but for someone else it just is attached to memory or attached to the thing. So lyrics, I always think that if you just write from your heart and you just write from your truths and you just tell your stories, then there's nowhere to get tripped up in the authenticity of it. And so I kind of always try and write from that place. I also like the kind of like live lounge test where it'll be, you know, because the record obviously is big production. We had everything. Also, by the way, everything is played by humans, which is really cool. So it's like a real Hammond on there. There's a real string trio. There's a quartet. There's a brass section. We've had like old Korgs and Rhodes, 70s Rhodes electric pianos on the record and stuff too. And yeah, like I think. I've wandered off. What were we saying? I got excited about the musical instruments on the thing.
Talking about lyrics.
Yeah, sorry. So I think the being authentic, I think, is what I'm trying to say. I think like the more authentic you can be as a songwriter, I think people can just relate to it better and more honestly. But I think it can be a challenge though, because you want to say something and you might know what it means to you, and then you show it to somebody else or show it to a pal or show it to another songwriter or something. They're like, what does that mean? I'm like, oh, this, obviously. And it's like, maybe that's not obvious because you know what you're talking about. So there's a fine line maybe perhaps between being straight to the point and kind of very clear in your intentions with the song, and then the other side is to maybe consider leaving it slightly open to interpretation so that people can, you know, use the songs and have the songs for whatever they need them for. Yeah.
Yeah, fair enough. And you've got some touring, you've got some shows coming up throughout May. I bet you can't wait to be doing some shows.
Yeah, I'm really excited. I love playing live. Getting to meet people is like the best bit. You can probably tell I like to talk a lot, so like
makes my job easier.
But yeah, so getting to like meet everyone, that's like my favorite part. I think there's something special about like playing live, especially like I'm doing everything from like private house concerts like to venues to like showcase things to like festivals. So yeah, I'll be like trundling around in my little like camper van. Well, camper van is generous. It's basically a car with a flat bit in the back for like sleeping. But yeah, from like Tain all the way down to London. So I'll be everywhere. But I think it's just like meeting people. I just love it so much. And like the audience and the people that come to these shows are more important than me playing the music. It's like to create that atmosphere is just, it's all, I don't know, I just love it. It's like the most wholesome thing in the world is to sing your little songs and other people listen and chat about it all. And yeah, I love touring. But yeah, so if you've got a garden or a little front room, you want a little house concert, hit me up on my socials.
Absolutely, yeah. I'm sure people will be taking you up on that offer because you've only got dates booked in now until the end of May. What are you doing after that? What's the plan?
Yeah, so this tour is mainly solo, so it's mainly just me. There's a few shows where I have my guitarist Karen and my musical bestie Mally Smith. She's going to be joining me for some backing vocals on a couple of shows. But the plan is to come back out again on tour later in the year, but with hopefully with the band, the full band, which will be cool. So we'll get to do more of a full experience of the album. But this tour, I'm just really excited to get out and chat about the songs and share them sort of stripped back the way they were all written. But yeah, so yeah, that I think just loads and loads of gigging, really. That's the plan.
Nice. Are you hoping to be back in the studio at some point?
Yeah, definitely. I love that too. I love starting with nothing and leaving with a song in the world. Where I think that's quite a magical thing. So yes, definitely, hopefully, fingers crossed, there will be more. But for now, there's the album, and it's like 12 tracks, which is really exciting too. It's like the biggest, chunk of work that I've ever put out in one go. But yeah, at some point there'll be more. Yeah. There's always more. There's always more music.
Yeah, good. I'd like to also find out, for those who, because you're fairly new to the world of us and the music world, I'd like to find out what got you into this in the first place.
So I actually used to tour in a band when I was a teenager. So I was a drummer in a band called Jackal in the sort of 2000s. And we were like high school band that did all right. Because also at the time it was basically just MySpace and Bebo. Mm-hmm. So there was no like social media to muck around with. It was like word of mouth. And we did all right. We were like toured about the UK for a little bit. And when I was about 20, I left the band. And so that... and pretended to be a grown-up for a little while and realized that wasn't for me, so I came back to music. But yeah, so that kind of really, really gave me a shot at seeing what it was like to play live and to play shows and tour about, and the permission from my parents to be honest, like to pursue that as a job instead of just a hobby was also a huge influence in me. So I was very lucky that I was given that permission to pursue it, and then have a band around me at the time that was just like, we were all learning to play together and just had such a hoot. But yeah, so I think that also shout out to Mr. Wilkinson at Balerno High School, the music teacher of all music teachers. He was super supportive. Our high school, like Nina Nesbitt was our school. There's like a bunch of like other artists and bands and stuff that came out of our school because, and I think a huge part of that was his influence and his allowing us to access instruments and sort of just have a shot. I think it's hard to just have a shot of an instrument. They're expensive and it's hard to get lessons, and schools are coming back on that. And so yeah, again, just really luck probably is how I've managed to end up in music. Yeah.
And I hope you enjoyed the interview there with Mike McKenzie. Now, we also have these interviews on our international radio show where you can hear the new tracks from these very artists. You can also hear a brand new track from many other artists too, and a live session as well. That is on our international radio show. Link on our website, thesoundlabuk.co.uk. So go and check that out if you have another 2 hours spare. So yeah, go and do that now. While we play you the final new interview from today, Shay O'Dowd. He's released his debut record, his debut single, in fact, which we had a little chat to him all about. Shay O'Dowd, how are you?
How you doing?
Yeah, not too bad. So we've been playing a new single of yours called The Kid I Am. Tell us a bit about the single, first of all.
So The Kid I Am is a song that I wrote to my younger self, basically. And I wrote it like 2 years back, so it's good to finally get out and see the response, and I've had a lot of lovely messages and people really resonating with the song, so it's all the feedback's been good, so I'm buzzing.
Yeah, nice. Is this the start of more new music to come for you then?
Yes, it is mate. I'm actually working on an EP, so obviously The Kid I Am is the first single, so the next single will be following shortly, end of May time, just in time for my first headline show as well, which will be at King Tut's on the 23rd of May, which we've sold out as well. So again, I'm absolutely thrilled with that.
Yeah, we'll get onto that shortly, but I want to talk more about what we can expect on this EP. Is it going to be along the similar lines to the single, or is there kind of a bit of variety on that?
Yeah, so that's a really good question. So like naturally, like everyone, I'm a sucker for your heartfelt heartbreak anthems, and but with this first EP, I just kind of wanted to keep it. I guess the EP is kind of just about myself growing up, friends, family, like the people around me, that sort of thing. And even stuff like for The Kid I Am, for example, we shot the cover art in my grand's old house, which was really nice. So yeah, this first EP feels quite like sentimental, and I purposely avoided going into like topics about relationship love and kept it more like love as I put in the terms of like my family and growing up and the world around me, that kind of thing.
Yeah, nice. And when it comes to the writing side of things, how do the tracks normally start off?
Well, I usually write playing at the piano, so I would usually say that's my go-to. I sit at the piano, just have a play about. I've got, like most songwriters, I've got the voice note app, so I just have like voice note recordings, and I come back to those voice notes when I do sit at the piano. But yeah, usually when I'm writing songs, a lot of my favourite songs that I write are never written in like a day. They're like, I write a verse like one day and then 2 weeks later I've got a chorus. So with The Kid I Am specifically, I'd started the kind of little verse idea, and I took it up to a good friend of mine who I've worked on the EP with, Keir Gibson. He's a great producer. I took it up to his house in the Highlands in Scotland, and we finished off writing The Kid I Am together, and he produced it. So yeah, that's how that one came about.
Yeah, nice. And you've mentioned about your show at King Tut's on May the 23rd. It is sold out. How's the set list coming along?
Oh, it's a really good question. I mean, I'm under a wee bit of pressure because with the last few years I just spent purely writing. So naturally, as you would expect and imagine, there is quite a lot of songs. Obviously we know what songs are on the EP, but we're trying to like work like 2 EPs ahead, you know, so like this EP and then the next EP, and that kind of dictates what songs we play at King Tut's. But it's that kind of thing of like, you want your set list to be like a roller coaster of like different tempos, different feels, different moods. So it is trying to, but yeah, we're getting there. I'll probably be playing about a 45 minute set. So just speaking with the band and with the MD and stuff like that, getting all the stems and stuff lined up as well. So yeah, we're getting there, but the rehearsals start the 12th of May. So I'm really looking forward to it.
Yeah, I can well imagine. And it is sold out. How does it feel to sell out the show?
Oh, amazingly. When my manager first brought the idea forward to me, he said, let's do King Tut's. I was like, no. He was like, we'll try and sell it out. And I was being honest, like really nervous, as you would be, because I've not put out any music. So I was purely relying on, you know, people that had maybe taken an interest in what I was posting online, friends, family, friends of friends, like that kind of stuff. But it seems to be that there's like a nice community. I mean, my friends have been great and my family have been great for, you know, bringing people that they know along. So yeah, to get it sold out was a massive achievement, especially before we'd released any music.
Yeah, absolutely. And is this the start of more shows to come? Are you hoping to be doing more this year?
Oh yeah. I mean, fingers crossed King Tut's goes well, but yeah, I would imagine I would like to do another headline towards the tail end of the year. I've had some messages being like, oh, I didn't get tickets and for this headline, and that's always good because that means you go, oh, maybe we could play another one after and go from there. But yeah, of course, I would definitely like to play another headline further down the line towards the tail end of the year.
Yeah, nice. And as you're fairly new to this, the world of music, I'd like to find out how you got into this in the first place.
Oh, another great question. I mean, I don't even know where to start other than I've always kind of had like music and kicking about. I mean, my mum and dad weren't musical or anything, but we always liked, we'd drive to Ireland and listen to like James Blunt or Paul and Tini or Nora Jones at the time, and I always really took an interest to music. I was more of a football guy, to be honest. Played a lot of football and stuff like that. But going into like my teenage years, I started getting into songwriting. I went to like my first proper gig, which was a band called Picture This, and I went to see them. I absolutely loved them. And I was like, I want to do that. And I was singing a bit, and about like 14, 15, my football coach, who always took an interest in my music and my songwriting, he sent me this course and it was a Ryan Tedder course, the lead singer of One Republic, and he's a huge songwriter. And I done this course, and it was these like video lessons. And after that, I just became obsessed with like writing songs, and like especially in the kind of pop genre. But yeah, so that really changed a lot for me. So once I kind of was leaving school, I decided, right, I want to go pursue music and try and do this. And I went to Riverside Music College, which is a really good music college in Glasgow. The guys were great. They gave you a lot of like first-hand experience in studios and stuff like that. I met a lot of people. That's how I first got into like. I then met someone that I started recording music and get some studio experience, and then through that I started doing some sessions, like writing sessions, in and around Glasgow. And then once I met my managers, they started organising sessions for me down in London and all that kind of stuff. So over the last few years, about 4 years, I've gained like a lot of experience writing songs. And but yeah, as you would imagine, like throughout that journey, you get impatient because you write like a good song and you're like, oh, I just want to put this out. And I reluctantly took the advice, and I'm so happy I did, because now I'm in a much better place where there's a lot of songs to come, you know, because you write one good song and people are like, class, but what else is next, you know? So yeah, I'm definitely happy that I was patient with it, and I'm still learning and you know, developing.
Yeah, absolutely. And you must have things that you want to achieve in your music career, but if you had to pick one thing that you want to do in your music career, what would that one thing be?
One thing I would want to do in my music career. Well, see, it's funny because I want to be an artist, but I also want to be a great songwriter. So I always think that I want to be part of. I want to be part of a global hit single in some way, shape, or form, whether it's myself or whether it's as a songwriter. As an artist point of view, I've been at a lot of gigs in the Barrowlands, and I would love to play the Barrowlands. I think that would be absolutely amazing. I mean, that venue is just so iconic. I mean, King Tut's is iconic, but on a bigger scale, yeah, the Barrowlands would be amazing.
And I hope you enjoyed the interview there with Shay O'Dowd. And this is the part of the show where we like to throw back in time. And we're thrown back to 2018, when we went to 2000 Trees Festival once again, and we interviewed one of the headliners in Enter Shikari. So this is what happened when we had a chat with them. Enter Shikari, how are you?
Very good, very good.
Splendid.
Good. Yes.
Good.
So you're here at 2000 Trees. How's your day been so far?
Yeah, good. Just spoke up, had a walk around, got some food, just soaking up the vibe, loving it.
Yeah. And you got a little headline set later on.
Yeah. Raoul's doing an acoustic thing as well.
Yeah.
4:30.
4:30. Yeah, he's just doing it by himself. So I haven't heard that yet, so excited to hear what he's cooked up.
Yeah.
and then really excited for our set later.
Yeah.
We got like brand new production, like quadraphonic sound. So yeah.
Any surprises?
Hopefully a
brand new
couple.
production. Quadraphonic sound.
Yeah, we've changed, added another bit of a mashup into the set list as well, which it kind of failed last night due to a massive technical error.
Okay.
But that won't happen tonight. We hope.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, no, we're really excited.
Yeah.
It should be fun.
Excellent. So earlier this year, you released another album.
Mm-hmm.
Tell us all about it.
It's called The Spark. Mm-hmm. It's our fifth full-length record.
Yeah.
I mean, what do you want to know?
Well, whatever you want to share with us.
I mean, it is probably the biggest progression we've made in terms of like from one album to another. It is definitely a bold step for us. But you know what? We think we've written something that's still exciting and different.
Yeah, excellent.
Yeah, I guess we're sort of just at that point in our career where we're just like you know, stop worried about trying to be like the most extreme band, you know, the most like crazy in every direction, or like poppy in every direction, and just sort of just gone, you know, let's just write good songs, you know, and not try and like be that kind of overcomplicate and be that kind of shocking. And so we're really happy. Like, reception of it has been unbelievable, so really good.
Excellent. And transferring to the other end of this year, you've got a tour coming up.
We do.
Yes. And it's not a short one either.
It's a holy mama of a tour.
That's what we should have called it.
It's going to be a big one. Starts in December. We're finished by May.
Yes.
So, you know, just a few months.
Just a couple of months touring.
Yeah.
So you're doing some smaller shows to start it off with?
Yes, we are. Yeah, I think we've always enjoyed doing like the kind of places the bands don't often go to. You know, bands are always going to the big cities, and you always forget around the surrounding areas. And you know, and often, you know, these are people that travel in and come to the gigs and make these shows so great in the big cities. So it's, and you know, when we were driving around in a van, these were the only places that would give us a gig. So it only feels right to, you know, to go back to these places and
show appreciation.
Yeah.
And then Europe.
Yes. There's some Scando dates in there as well.
Yeah.
And I don't think we'll be done there either. I think we'll probably do some more after that as well.
Back to the UK, doing some big things then.
Yeah.
And then, once this tour that you've already announced is over and done with, what's the plan after that?
Probably I'll be near to summer then, so probably some more festivals, and then maybe some more music.
Well, by that point we might need to start writing a new record.
Yeah. Are you thinking about it yet, or?
I mean, we got a couple of bits in the pipeline that we've been working on. You know, not a full album's worth of material, but stuff that we're keen to put out into the public.
Riffs are flying around.
A few.
Yeah. There's always a constant flow of ideas. So it's just kind of trying to pick the ones. The ones that we like.
Do you think the next step will be another record, or do you think you might try something different and acoustic EP or something?
I mean, we have always talked about doing a Motown record.
Okay.
Which is it's still on our to-do list.
Kind of half joking, but I wouldn't be surprised if it.
But I mean, obviously, there's definitely going to be new music in the future. What that's going to sound like, we honestly couldn't tell you.
Yeah. Excellent. Fantastic. So, if people wanted to find out more about you, or get hold of your record that's out there, where can they go and do that?
Just entershikari.com.
Find everything you need.
Everything you need's in there.
We've contained it all into one nice, easy place for everyone.
And I hope you enjoyed the interview there from Enter Shikari from 2000 Trees Festival 2018. And that's the end of the show for another week, I'm afraid. But don't you worry, we will be back next week with another episode of Interviews Unedited. But if you can't wait until then, social media at The Sounder Lab, yes, on all the socials. Check out the website at thesounderlabuk.co.uk and make sure you check us out on Spotify on our fresh playlist too. And we will be back next week with another episode of Interviews Unedited. Goodbye.